Echoes from the underworld, the allure of forbidden tombs. The earth holds secrets deep within its crust. Tombs lie silent, shrouded in darkness. They whisper tales of kings and queens, of power, of fear, of eternity. Some were never meant to be found, their doors sealed against the ages. A silent warning, a sacred trust. Do we dare disturb their ancient sleep? A primal curiosity pulls us towards the unknown, the forbidden. These are not mere graves, they are time capsules, monuments to ambition and to terror, crafted by civilizations long turned to dust. Yet their presence lingers, a cold spot in history. Legends cling to them like cobwebs in a forgotten crypt, stories of guardians, supernatural and terrifying. Curses laid upon any who dare trespass, protecting the slumber of the mighty dead, for what awaits inside was never meant for our eyes or our understanding. Consider the air within, stale for millennia, untouched by sunlight, unbreathed by the living. What energies might have coalesced there? What knowledge lies dormant or deliberately hidden? The allure is undeniable. What happens when we break those seals? What forces do we unleash? Travel back with me across the vastness of time to ancient China over 2 millennia ago. A figure emerges. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. He unified a land, forged an empire around 221 BCE. But his greatest ambition lay beyond life itself. He sought immortality, not just in memory, but in reality. His tomb was his universe, a cosmos built underground, a final palace, a fortress against oblivion, designed to last for 10,000 generations. A chilling monument to one man's will. The scale is almost unimaginable, even today. A vast necropolis sprawling beneath a man-made mound, discovered by chance. In 1974, farmers digging a well, they found not water, but an army. Thousands of terracotta soldiers, silent sentinels, each face unique, each statue a masterpiece. Archers, charioteers, generals, standing guard, protecting an emperor they never saw in his final rest. For the central tomb, the emperor's own chamber, remains sealed, unopened, untouched. Historian Sima Qian, writing a century after the emperor's death, he described a marvel, a subterranean kingdom, palaces, towers, officials, all replicated in miniature, rare utensils and wonderful objects. He spoke of a cosmic design. Sima Qian's chronicles paint an eerie picture of what might lie within that sealed imperial chamber. He wrote of rivers, the Yangtze, the Yellow River, recreated in gleaming, flowing mercury, mechanically engineered to simulate their course. Imagine the sight, liquid silver, shimmering in the dark, a toxic, beautiful and deadly landscape. Above the ceiling adorned with celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, the constellations, a miniature sky, crafted from pearls and precious gems. This was not just a burial chamber, it was a replica of his domain, his empire, his cosmos, all for him to command for eternity. The mercury serves a dual purpose, perhaps, a breathtaking spectacle and a lethal deterrent. Its vapors, poisonous, deadly to any intruder, a silent chemical guardian, protecting the emperor's peace. Modern scientific surveys have detected high mercury levels in the soil, lending credence to these ancient accounts. The legends seem to hold the core of truth. Why has it remained sealed for so long? The sheer scale is one reason. The complexity, the potential for irreparable damage to its contents. Archaeologists tread with extreme caution. The world waits. Journey now to another ancient land. Egypt, the Nile River, a ribbon of life through a desert of death. Here pharaohs reigned as gods on earth, their passage to the afterlife, the Valley of the Kings, a sun-scorched, desolate place, chosen to hide the eternal resting places of New Kingdom rulers. While many like Tutankhamun's were discovered, others remain elusive. KV-5, a sprawling complex for the sons of Ramesses II. KV-63, not a royal tomb, but a mummification workshop full of coffins, pottery, embalming materials. But no pharaoh whose story could rewrite a chapter of history. Section 5. The Pharaoh's Slumber. Why royal doors remain sealed. And why do some royal doors in Egypt stay closed? The reasons are complex. Preservation is paramount. Modern archaeology is meticulous science. Opening a tomb prematurely can destroy fragile contents. Humidity, light, and modern breath can be a death knell for the delicate whispers of the past. The guardians weigh every option, rewards against risks. And then there is the legendary curse of the pharaohs. Section 6. Alexander's Lost Legacy, the quest for a conqueror's grave. Shift your gaze now to a different kind of mystery. Not a sealed tomb, but a lost one. The final resting place of Alexander the Great, conqueror of the known world by the age of 32. He died in Babylon in 323 BCE. A young man, his empire vast, his legacy immeasurable, but his tomb vanished, swallowed by time or deliberately hidden, its location a puzzle for millennia. One of history's most tantalizing cold cases. Where does the great Macedonian king lie? After his death, his body became a political pawn, a symbol of power, of legitimacy. Initially, it was to be returned to Macedonia, but Ptolemy the Soter, one of Alexander's generals, intercepted the funeral cortege and diverted it to Egypt, first to Memphis, then to Alexandria, the city Alexander founded. There his body was housed in a magnificent mausoleum, the Soma. Visited by Roman emperors, Augustus, Caligula, Caesar, they paid homage. They gazed upon his embalmed form. Then silence. The historical record fades. Sometime in late antiquity, the tomb disappears from mention. Was it destroyed? Earthquakes, tsunamis, riots? Alexandria has known them all. The shifting coastline, the rise and fall of empires, or was it moved, hidden by priests to protect it from desecration? The theories are countless, the search is relentless. Finding Alexander's tomb, scholar Andrew Chugg has said, would be the ultimate archaeological prize. Section 7. Artifacts of Eternity, treasures guarded by time and fear. Imagine stepping into a sealed chamber, untouched for millennia, the air still, the silence absolute. Then, by the beam of a flashlight, wonders appear. Gold that glitters as if freshly polished. Jewels that refract light from a long-dead sun. Statues that seem to breathe, carved with divine skill. These are the artifacts of eternity, objects intended to accompany the powerful into the afterlife. Each item tells a story of belief, of artistry, of life itself. In Tutankhamun's tomb, over 5,000 objects were found, crowded together: chariots, furniture, weapons, games, clothing, food. His iconic golden death mask, a masterpiece of ancient art. These were essential equipment for navigating the underworld. The craftsmanship astounds, the wealth bewilders, and this was a relatively minor king. What awaits in the grander, unopened tombs? The mind reels at the possibilities, but these treasures are guarded by time itself and by fear. The act of opening a tomb is an act of intrusion. Ancient peoples did not intend for us to find these places. They were meant for the dead and for the gods. The very air can be a threat. Microorganisms dormant for centuries can awaken. Fragile materials can turn to dust upon contact with our world. Section 8. Whispers of the Ancients, curses, legends, and lingering dread. Beyond the physical barriers, beyond scientific concerns, lies another layer of protection, ethereal yet potent, the realm of curses, of legends, of deep-seated dread. These are the intangible guardians of the ancient dead, whispers that travel through centuries, warning the curious, threatening the bold. Are they mere superstition, products of an unscientific age, or do they tap into something deeper? A primal respect for the sanctity of the grave. A fear of forces beyond our comprehension. The curse of Tutankhamun is the most famous. After Howard Carter opened the tomb in 1922, a series of misfortunes befell some involved. Lord Carnarvon's death from an infected mosquito bite. The lights of Cairo mysteriously failing at the moment of his death. Newspapers seized upon these events, creating a global sensation, fueling the narrative of a pharaoh's vengeance. Skeptics point to logical explanations, to coincidence. But the legend endures, a chilling, cautionary tale. It adds an aura of menace to the allure of discovery. Similar stories cling to other tombs across cultures. Qin Shi Huang's mausoleum is said to be protected by more than Mercury, by spiritual guardians, by the emperor's own unyielding will. Local folklore often speaks of bad luck, of strange occurrences near such sites. These tales serve a purpose. They create a boundary, a psychological barrier, reinforcing the physical seals. Section 9. The Final Veil. Should some mysteries remain forever undisturbed? We stand at a threshold between knowing and not knowing. The human spirit yearns to explore, to uncover, to solve every puzzle. It is this drive that has propelled our civilization from caves to cosmos. These unopened tombs, these lost burial sites, they represent ultimate frontiers on our own planet. Challenges to our intellect, to our technology, and perhaps to our wisdom. The secrets they hold could rewrite history, expand our understanding. Yet there is a counter-argument, a whisper of restraint. Are there some doors that should remain closed, some veils that should not be lifted? Not out of fear or superstition alone, but out of respect. For the dead, for their beliefs, for the sanctity of their final rest. These were individuals with wishes for their afterlife. They expended vast resources to ensure their privacy, their peace. Do we, centuries later, have the right to violate that? For our curiosity, for our academic pursuits, the debate is ongoing and profound. If we open every tomb, decipher every secret, do we lose something in the process? Does the world become a little less mysterious, a little less magical? Some argue that the very act of preservation requires leaving some things untouched, allowing future generations with potentially better methods, better understanding, to make their own discoveries or their own choices. The past is not ours to consume entirely. We are but temporary custodians. So the question hangs in the air, heavy as unshed tears. What is the greater wisdom, to unlock every secret, or to acknowledge that some mysteries should perhaps remain forever undisturbed? The debate is ongoing and profound. If we open every tomb, decipher every secret, do we lose something in the process?